Thank you. So can I just see a quick show of hands? How many of you have ever had this thought, God, I wish that guy came with a user manual? Yes, me too. It would be so much easier if people would just tell us up front exactly how they operate. And that is why I decided to write my own user manual and encourage others to write theirs. However, it's also because I really hate these dating gurus who say, there are 4 types of women, you know, or 5 rules that you have to follow. And they cram humanity into these tiny little boxes. And I don't know about you, but I defy categorization. I am not a woman. I am an extremely complex mechanism. I also spent the last couple of years doing a podcast about dating and relationships. And if you ask me, the single biggest predictor of a healthy relationship, I would say that it's that the parties involved have an extremely high level of accurate self-knowledge. The better that the parties involved in the relationship know themselves and can communicate needs, wants, joys, and fears over time, the likelier it is that the relationship will be healthy and will be able to endure those typical relationship stressors that over time can start to fray a relationship. And I'm also a big geek, so my solution to everything is just document it. Okay, so what goes into a user manual for a human being? Well, there are 4 basic sections. Now, the first section of any user manual basically tends to delineate the parts and the functionality. So for a human, that would roughly translate to writing your, let's call it your origin story. So what is your background? What was your relationship with your parents? What is your relationship with your siblings? And how has that affected your worldview? What major life events formed you? Now, for me, this pretty much tells you everything you need to know about me. I'm the middle child, the classic do-gooder, overachiever middle child who likes to think that she has an artistic side. So that's part 1. Now, part 2 is where we spread out our emotional baggage like the TSA doing a really invasive bag check. This is your opportunity to be brave and to be honest. Like, I really like it when she... Now, I do love it when he says I was wrong, but it's almost more important to me to have somebody who tells me that I'm wrong and calls me on my shit, because that is really important to me in a relationship. When it comes to flirting, what's good for the goose is not necessarily good for the gander, or for a separate goose. What makes you weak in the knees? You in particular. Now, for me, pretty much if the guy wears a utilikilt and a poofy shirt, and if he happens to quote my favorite movie, The Princess Bride, I am his forever. So, what makes you tick? For part 4, I know we have kids, so I'm going to keep this PG-13-ish. So, what are you into? What is your fetish? What is the most surfed porn category on your laptop? What makes sex really awesome for you in particular? Now, I can get some pushback about the level of transparency that I'm requesting here. It has been my experience that the ability to communicate sexual wants and needs clearly and without shame is not only incredibly empowering, but also makes it far more likely that those needs and desires will actually be fulfilled. A while back, I saw a guy performing in a one-man show, thought he was a great storyteller, and I asked him out. On our first date, he showed up wearing a black utilikilt, and I said, oh, yay. Oh, crap, did you find my user manual and read it? To which he responded, darling, if I am lucky enough to have to find a woman willing to write out the instructions for me, damn straight I'm going to follow those directions. That was 2.5 years ago. Our commitment ceremony is scheduled this November in Costa Rica. Thank you.